this is your first time doing drugs at a very early age. Do you continue to do drugs? Do you say, okay, no, it's a one and done after that? Or what happens next?
Actually, I believe it or not, I stopped doing that substance and I started doing smoking weed. And as I got older, when I was in my early 20s, I believe I was turning 21 or 22, one of those birthdays. I was involved with a female. It's always a female. I was involved with a female, and when I met her, she was on drugs. And I'm just like, that made me think about the drug that I did. So I'm like, hey, you see what that stuff does to people. Like, don't, you got to chill with doing that, or I'm not dealing with you. Like, she would neglect her son. Like, a lot of things she was neglecting. So she was like, okay, I'm not going to do it anymore. And me, what I know now, the lady didn't stop. She just covered it up a little better, a little more. So I thought that she did stop. And on my 21st birthday, I went and got her some drugs from where she goes to get it at. And when I got the drug, it was heroin, not fentanyl, heroin. So I bring it back to her on my birthday. Hey, you've been doing so good. I got this for you. And she like, you want some? I'm like, nah, I'm good. And then I'm seeing how it is making her feel, and then I'm like, well, I can do a little bit. It ain't gonna. So after I did that heroin, I have arrived. Like, no marijuana, no nothing can top that feeling of that heroin that I felt. I felt like I was real arrogant. I was real like I picked up the vibes from the guys that I was with up
Mm.
until that point. So if they was aggressive with me, that's how I was when I was on her. When I was aggressive, if whatever the situation was, if they was cocky, I was cocky. So I just kind of bottled all that up into one and created a demon.
So after your first time using heroin, do you become addicted?
No, I
Okay.
haven't. I didn't become addicted that very first time, but I did do it a second time, which is the next day. And
Okay.
I did do it a third time, which is the next day,
Okay.
you know. And when all my money ran out, I'm like, hey, you know, why do I feel like this? And she was like, oh, I forgot to tell you, if you do it a certain amount of days, you become addicted.
Uh,
So now I'm like, survival mode. I don't have any money and I feel like crap and I'm pooping on myself. Something has got to give. And that's when I entered uh, the life of crime. The life of prostitution. You know, anything that I can do to get another fix. That's what I did.
wow. And at this point, you can only imagine the things that have you have experienced as a young person. It's what you become to know, right? Using your body to get what you
Yeah.
want. You have living at home with your mom, men who are coming in and out of your room using your body. Then you find this man who's like, take pictures for me, using your body to get what you want. So I can imagine when you fall into a state of addiction, you don't have any money. The first thing you think is, I know how to use my body to get what I want.
Right.
So is this how you start prostitution or sex work?
Actually, yes, but mind you, I was doing that before that to get the things that I wanted. So I guess you can say that I was doing that way before I started the drugs and alcohol,
Okay.
but it just came out when I
More.
started the heroin. So and I started. I was doing anything. I was selling my vagina, your vagina, everybody vagina is for sale. So yeah,
So along with that, you start using other drugs as well.
yeah.
What were some of the drugs that you were using at the time?
Let me see. So of course, alcohol. Alcohol is my beginning and my end. I'm an addict, But first and foremost, I identify as an alcoholic because that's what brought me to my knees. Alcohol was always the beginning and the end of every story for me. I go to jail, come home, it start with a drink. It ends with a drink. When I ain't got no more money in my pocket, I got a couple change, I can go and get me a drink. It always started and ended. So as long as I don't take that first drink, I'm not going to take that drug. So, but yeah.
So, what were some of the things? Like, obviously, we know early on you said cocaine. Then we know you got introduced to heroin. There was also marijuana as well.
I've did fentanyl. But when I did fentanyl, it wasn't as popular as it is now. When I did fentanyl, it wasn't called fentanyl. It was called like a tranquilizer, and that's what I would look for because that's what I want. I want something that's knocking me out all day. And matter of fact, I want what Sally had over there that she overdosed and died off of. That's what I want. Not saying that I want to overdose and die, but that's the best stuff. If you ain't dying from it, I don't want it. So yeah, so I did heroin. I did the tranquilizer pills, of course, the Valiums, the ecstasy. I in my drug addiction, I did all those drugs. I did crystal meth. I did crack cocaine. What else? PCP, K2. So yeah.
You've pretty much done it all.
Yeah.
And I know when we spoke previously, you told me it was even so bad at one point you were willing to drink hand sanitizer to get your fix.
So it wasn't that I was willing to drink it. I did drink it.
Oh.
I've drank hand sanitizer by just taking the extra stuff out of it. That I'm not gonna say how it's prepared, but yeah, I've drank the hand sanitizer on many occasions.
Wow. And at this point, are you realizing like, hey man, I might have an addiction?
Well, I always knew that I had an addiction, but I was a product of my environment and I didn't know how to get out of that environment because again, I would go to jail and I would come home, I would have nowhere to go. So, but I know where I do have to go and I can go to the streets. I've been locked up for a couple years, couple months. I got a little weight on me. The ass fat, you know what I mean? Got a little bit of titties, I'm good, you know what I mean? So yeah, I would go back to the street and I would lose it all in a week.